Welcome to Authentically You Podcast, the podcast that dives deep into a transformative journey of self-discovery, self-acceptance, and self-expression. I'm your host, Kirsty Hankin, and I'm here to guide you on a path towards embracing your true, unapologetic, authentic self. In this podcast, we'll embark on a quest to uncover the secrets to breaking free from societal expectations, shredding the masks we wear, and stepping into our own power. Each episode will explore the questions and challenges that our listeners face on their personal journeys, providing practical insights and heartfelt advice. But it doesn't stop there. Authentically You Podcast goes beyond just answering your questions. We're here to introduce you to a diverse lineup of incredibly knowledgeable professionals who will share their expertise, wisdom, and experiences. We'll bring you thought-provoking interviews that will inspire and empower you. This is Authentically You Podcast, unleashing life on your own terms. I'm Kirsty Hankin, and together, let's unlock the power within and live life authentically. Remember, you are not alone on this journey. We're in this together. Welcome to Authentically You. Thank you so much for being here this week. I'm so excited about our guest today, so let me get into it and introduce her. Our guest's biggest struggle throughout her life was always confidence, feeling confident enough to be herself. She had a couple of light bulb moments in her early 20s that set her journey into motion. And in 2020, learning Reiki and reconnecting with her intuition sent everything into hyperdrive. She has learned how to speak up for herself by moving from a place of love. She is showing up on Instagram Reels, being and embracing her weird self. She speaks her thoughts on her weekly podcast, and just recently finally trusted a year-long nudge to start sharing sound healing with her voice. Every step helps her feel stronger in her confidence and more embodied in her true self. Welcome to the show, the beautiful Kerri. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Tell us right from the start, when did it start for you to start your self-discovery journey into becoming authentically you?
Yeah, so we can just jump right into the light bulb moments because they were huge for me. So I essentially grew up feeling really alone. I didn't really have any friends. It was hard for me to make friends no matter how badly I wanted to have them. It just seems like I could never get it right. And I was always feeling left out. A lot of times I know for a fact I was intentionally excluded from things, made fun of a lot. So I just, even though I feel like I have I'm an introvert naturally, but I have still a very bubbly personality. I actually really like to be on stage and be the center of attention. And I was a theater major and a writing major, and they were not meant to go together. No. But nonetheless, I started to dim my light essentially and really withdraw and believe that I was invisible, and sometimes try to make myself invisible, because if you can't see me, you can't make fun of me, you know? And at the same time, I was really, really hoping that somebody at some point would just see how awesome I was, and want to be my friend, versus it seemed like everybody oh, this person's so awesome, I want to be her friend. I was like, well, what about me? I'm a nice person. I need some friends, and it sounds superficial on the surface, but when you're going through it, it's still, it stings, it sucks. And I realized, just to sum that part up, I realized that maybe I was pushing people away through my actions in being so needy almost, rather than drawing them to me. I realized that as a result of this light bulb moment. So I had, actually, I'm going to reverse them. because I just realized they happened in a particular order. So I'm going to go in the correct order. So first, I started to see myself actually in other people.
Mm-hmm.
And now I was kind of on the opposite side, seeing people act the way that I had acted. Like in one direct conversation with somebody, I felt the role reversal. Like I was so suddenly conscious of it. Like, oh my God, is this how I make other people feel?
Yeah.
I'm like, holy crap. Like, wow, no wonder. That was kind of the start, but it didn't super spark much for me yet.
Mm-hmm.
But not too long after that, I overheard a conversation between two of my dance teachers while we were just kind of waiting for class to start. And I know they weren't talking about me. They were talking about someone that they both really loved.
Yeah.
And how it was just getting draining and exhausting to put so much energy into trying to lift this person up, to make them feel good about themselves, to try to make them realize how amazing they were.
Mm-hmm.
And this person, just even though that was clearly what they wanted, they weren't accepting that.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw myself both in that person and in their shoes, since I had that other light bulb moment. I'm like, oh my God,
Yeah.
I get it now. And I realized that, like, not only was I pushing people away, but if I ever did get that confirmation of someone telling me that they thought I was awesome or wanting to be my friend, like I had created this story in my head where there was always some sort of ulterior motive. Like somehow this was going to come back around and they were going to make fun of me, or they were going to set me up for something, or they were just, they were complimenting me because it's really a backhanded, they're making fun of me kind of thing. And from that point on, without really doing, like, I didn't start reading books or watching videos. Like, this was like the early 2000s. Like, YouTube wasn't a thing yet. I wasn't really into personal development or even know much about what that was yet. I just somehow it must have been my intuition. I somehow had this realization that I was making everything about me. I was taking everything personally, and I started to make myself catch those thoughts and those feelings when they came up, because I knew what it felt like in my body when that would happen.
Yeah.
And I started noticing that and catching myself and actively, intentionally stopping those thoughts.
Yeah.
Not necessarily changing them into anything else, but just, nope,
Just stopping them. Yeah.
We're not going to think that. We're not going to feel that way. Good or bad, that's what helped me move forward and start to not take things personally, which was a huge step for me. And that just kind of sparked everything else from there, and everything just snowballed to where I am today.
Wow, that's incredible. And the fact that you had the knowledge or the intuition to come through to actually stop and be conscious of those thoughts and feelings that weren't really serving you and making you feel the wrong way is incredible. But I teach my clients that, and for you to actually work it out yourself, that's incredible. Wow.
Yeah.
Well done, Kerri. Well done. Gold star.
Thank you. I've only recently realized what an accomplishment that was, that I took myself through that. I'm like, wow, that was a go me. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, really. Seriously, really, go you.
Because I still see that's still an issue for me. Well, not an issue, that's the wrong word, but like something that I see is still so many people taking so many things personally and making it about them. And it's a hard topic to talk about because you don't want people to feel like you're not, it's never meant to attack anybody. Like, oh, hey, you're taking everything personally and making it about you. It's like, no, you need to think about like what's happening in the other person's mind too, and what they're feeling and what's happening as a result of your energy versus their energy. And, it's a positive thing to notice that and start realizing that it's not always about you.
Yeah, exactly. Because we're programmed right from a very young age into being the sort of person that society wants you to be. You've got to go to school and be good and sit there and listen to the teacher, and then you come out of school and you're expected to get a job or go to university or college or whatever it is, and all these expectations. So we're sort of programmed. You sort of lose the consciousness of some things around you and your feelings and your thoughts, because it's been programmed into you that you should be this way and this way. So it takes a bit of practice and a bit of time to actually start being conscious again about things, rather than just living life, isn't it? It's a journey. It's a journey.
It really is. And the one thing to interject is with the compliments. Like, I spent so much of my time growing up pushing away compliments because I always felt that they were likely backhanded, because sometimes they were. And it was obvious. It ended up being obvious after the fact that they were. So I stopped accepting compliments, or thinking that, people were secretly actually laughing after they said something, say something to my face and then turn around and laugh. Oh, she thinks I was serious, And when I met the man who is now my husband, there was like I feel like it's a soulmate thing. I don't know if he's going to say it the same way. But I think so, based off of things he said to me when we first met. But that was like a relationship that felt like it was meant to be, obviously, because we're married now. We have 2 kids.
Yeah.
And when he first started giving me compliments, I felt my wall go up.
Yeah.
And I was suddenly conscious of that. I'm like, I don't want to push this guy away.
Yeah.
So I dropped it a little bit and I was like, thank you. And it took some practice to realize, oh, people can actually mean compliments genuinely.
Yeah.
It's okay. Like, it's safe. It was like, a nervous system thing. Like, okay, it's safe to accept a compliment. So I'm grateful to him for showing up in my life for that. That wasn't something I don't think I could have necessarily done without him showing up, and he didn't even know he did it.
Yeah. Oh, that's such a blessing, isn't it? Some people just come into your life that are meant to be to help you in some sort of way. Even if it's I'm going off topic here, but even if it's like a negative sort of person, they're teaching you something. They're there for you to learn something from them.
We could go into a whole separate conversation on that too.
Exactly. And it's funny you mentioned compliments, because I wrote that down. I was like, compliments, because it's a massive thing for a lot of people. I remember myself when I was younger, just, oh, I like your hair. Awkward.
Yeah, we brush it off like,
awkward,
oh yeah, I just, this old thing,
Yeah, exactly. When all you need to say is, oh, thank you, and just accept it. And that vibration that they're giving you, that frequency, is just love and kindness. And we all want to feel love and kindness. So instead of like batting it away like we have done, we should open up and just accept it, because that's what we want in life: love, kindness, happiness. And if we're trying to bat it away, we're not getting that, are we? Oh, it's
and this is just popping into my head, but I've thought about this before about, I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't think it's anything anyone needs to nitpick or tear apart. But I think to some level, collectively, we've taken that idea that it's better to give than receive a little too far. Because a lot of us, women in particular, we don't allow ourselves to receive. Even if people are trying to give to us, we're like, oh no, I can't take that.
Yes,
not even just a compliment,
I absolutely 100% agree with that, because it's always again embedded in us. I'm thinking of back in the day, like everywhere it's like give, be kind, be this, give, when we don't get taught how to receive, really, do we? Wow. And as women, absolutely, we've got so much going on in our lives, especially if you're a mother trying to work, do all the things, housekeeping, cook dinners. There's a lot going on. So, and that is all giving giving. So it's so mighty important that we actually take time for ourselves, isn't it? So that we can actually receive and just give ourselves some space and love for ourselves, really.
Exactly.
So tell me about, I'm really intrigued about your sound healing. Tell me.
That's so new for me, but yes, what's your question? Just to tell you about it?
Yeah, tell us about it, because I think I have a similar thing where this podcast. So it was nudging me, niggling at me for about a year.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay. And it's just been the easiest, funnest, exciting thing to do. So tell me about what were the nudges like, and tell us how it all started and how your confidence is going.
Yeah, so I'm a singer as well, and that's actually, side note again, that's how I met my husband. I auditioned to be the singer in a band that he was starting.
Oh, wow.
And
did he say yes, you're going to be the singer?
I was the only one that they auditioned. Yeah. I think we both knew right away.
Yeah. Brilliant.
And so we had the band for a while, and then that band kind of ran its course. We did some original stuff. We put out an album, but then we got married, we had kids, and life has just been frantic and hectic. So we haven't really done anything with the album other than put it out there. Yeah. And we don't have a band together or anything like that. I haven't been writing any music. I sing on occasion. Bands that ask me to fill in with them. I'm actually a part of the Milwaukee Police Band as well, which is the oldest police band in America, by the way. But I have a friend, like we met on Instagram. I've never met her in person, but we're both Reiki masters and a lot of the same types of experiences. So we talk, and she's come into some of my groups before, and she does sound healing with her voice because she is also a singer. And it just goes to show you that no matter where you are on your journey to better confidence, it's a fluid journey. There are rises and falls. Oh, yeah. And you can be super confident in one area, and then something else, you're like way down here. An imposter syndrome will creep up. And I found that happening to me because I was like, this is really cool. And even though I was already doing Reiki at the time, so I knew how to trust my intuition, I had relearned that skill, because I believe we all have that skill. I had relearned that. And I was trusting the nudges that came with that. For some reason, when it came to doing this sound healing, I was afraid in a way that, like, oh my God, what if she thinks I'm copying her? Like, thinking that I had to ask her for permission to do, because she was what sparked it in me, was realizing that was a thing. And I kept putting it off. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I just, maybe once I have everything, like my keyboard set up again, because things have been kind of not set up the best at our old house. And then we moved a year ago and things are still in disarray. So I'm like, when this happens, we'll wait until this time. We'll wait until this. And, we'll wait until I can put a full sound healing meditation together. And then this nudge would not go away. Yeah. And eventually I went ahead and I'm like, I need to at least calm this part down. And I reached out to her. I'm like, hey, you really inspired me. Like, she knows I'm a singer too. And I'm like, I really am feeling pushed to do kind of what you do, like the sound healing with my voice. She's like, of course. She's like, you don't need my permission. That's beautiful. Please do it. I'm like, okay, thank you. All the while knowing I don't need to ask her for permission, but so I decided, I kept talking about like, oh, I'm going to put it in my membership group that I have. Like, this is going to be like exclusive to them. And then I kept not getting the time that I wanted or thought I was going to get to like put this whole big production together. Mm-hmm. And finally I went, what if I just do like a 1-minute reel? where I came across, I think he's Zach the Reiki guy on Instagram, and he does flute, like native flute, and it's Reiki infused sound healing that way.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw the filter that he was using to create this kind of like, not echo. What's the word that I want? Why can't I think? I'm a musician. I know this.
You got this, Kerri.
Reverb.
Yeah.
The reverb. And I'm like, So I saved it and I decided to try it out and just went for it one day. It was a long time of like melodies stuck in my head, trying to trust like what the melody was supposed to be and what it's supposed to relate to. And I finally hit the record button. I've only done 2 so far, but I started putting them out there. So it's getting there. It's funny how that imposter syndrome shows up when you're not expecting it. It's like, I'm a freaking singer and I do Reiki. Why can't I put them together? What's going on?
Oh, the things that we do to ourselves, right?
Oh yeah, we get in our own way so much.
My gosh, yes. So with your sound healing, does it just come through or are you actually structuring it and how you want to do it?
The first one I did, I had, like I said, I had that little bit of a melody going through my head at first. And when I started recording it, after those first couple seconds, I just started letting it go, like wherever it felt. Like if I need, like, hold this note, okay, move up, like just kind of letting it flow. And then just kind of trying to keep my crown open and trust my intuition on what it was meant for.
Yeah.
So one was, I think, to open the crown. Another was the third eye. Oh, one was a heart chakra. I take that back. Heart chakra and then third eye. And they haven't gotten a lot of views on Instagram. But when I shared them on Facebook and I shared them into my Facebook group as well, it got like really awesome feedback. And I can't believe how scared I was. Like, I was so like, I don't care. I want to be the center of attention. I was so scared to post those videos. But the feedback that I got about like how soothing it felt and how like it felt like me, like it was something I meant to do. And I'm like, okay. So like we still need, positive feedback and to be uplifted. I mean, not to start going off on, I guess this isn't really a tangent, but I feel like there's a balance between being able to give yourself that level of confidence and trust where you don't need that validation or uplifting from other people, but that doesn't mean that it's not still a good thing to get, because with it being a fluid journey, but like sometimes we need that boost to pick us back up. But it's going to hurt us even more, I feel like, if we're intentionally seeking that out, because that's what I was doing in the beginning. Like, I can see that, like, that's where I was pushing people away. So if you're like fishing for things, that's not really going to get you where you're hoping to go.
Exactly. I totally agree with that. So when I first started my self-discovery journey, I was like, I need this, I need that, I need this. Like, why isn't it not happening? And it's like, whoa, take a step back, like chill out, chill out, Kirsty. And it's the same when I heard light language for the first time through one of the people I follow. And I was like, I want to do that. I want to do it. And I was trying so hard to sort of bring it through that it was just not working. And I had
sorry, one moment. I'm in here, JJ. JJ, I'm in the office. Yes.
We have a child.
What's up, buddy? What's up, honey? Buddy, I'm doing an interview.
Hi.
What's wrong? In just a little bit. Okay.
This is exactly what happened to me the other day.
I love you. I love you. I love you. Okay. I'll be out in a few minutes, okay? Can you close the door? Well, honey, it doesn't stay just a little open. You can come back in if you need me, okay? Thank you. You need chips? I apologize. Give me one moment.
Yeah, no problem.
You were talking about light language.
Light language. So then one day I did a healing session with a lady, and all of a sudden I was just talking this language that I had no idea what it was, and I was like, and then my head getting into my head again, like, oh, is this it? Is this how I'm going to do it? Is it? So after that session, I was connected to it, and I would practice it and practice it and practice it, and I just learned to just switch. How do you explain that? Sort of switch off and let it come through. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like,
oh yeah,
yep.
Yep.
Let it come through, whatever needs to be said. And then probably about 3 or 4 weeks ago, my hands started going as well. So I was like, oh, this is wonderful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But when you try and force something, you know, it's not gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
So just relax and let it.
Oh yeah.
That's the hardest thing for a woman, I think, as well, because we're so on the go, especially in this day and age. We're on the go. This, got to do that, got to do this, got to do that, and then you're like, okay, come on. But you know, the other world is a lot slower and a lot more in flow. We just need.
I found that when I was first learning to do Reiki, and I hadn't considered myself an intuitive on any level at that point, but it was one of two big things. It was Reiki and then teaching fitness classes, where I had kind of just like this soul knowing that it was supposed to be a part of my path and that I might be good at it. I had never taken a group fitness class before I became a fitness instructor. And I had never had a Reiki session before I decided I was going to learn Reiki. But going into it, you know, trying to tune in and get over the chakras, like I started to feel the energy in my hands pretty quickly, but I was still trying to, like, you know, should I be doing something? Am I, you know, and trying to see something, trying to hear messages. And I'm like, I think I see the color red in your root chakra. And but like, I wasn't sure how long I was supposed to stay there. And then slowly, like, just relaxing over time and telling myself that, you know what, whatever pops into my head, I'm just going to go with. Turns out that's your intuition talking. But like, I told myself that in the beginning, like, whatever I see, whatever happens, I'm just going to tell the person that's what I saw, because that's what I saw. And then we'll figure out what it means. It's fine. And slowly but surely, the more I leaned back and let things happen, like my hands would start doing things kind of on their own, or you know, I'd be led to go a certain direction, or I could feel myself getting stopped over a certain chakra. And then I would start to visualize more and seeing things coming into my mind's eye, and then getting that feedback that it made sense to the clients and it was resonating. And so it sounds simple, because it is, but it's not easy to do. But it's just allowing, taking that step back and trusting.
And practice and practice and practice.
And practice, yes.
Yeah. So for those people that are still stuck in societal expectations, know they're meant for more, they just don't know what to do. What would be your first step, or a first step for them to take to start their journey?
Never been asked it in that way before. Let me think for a second. Because, well, the thing is, a lot of the women who come to me, they know that they're meant for more, but they also can't figure out what it is. And I dealt with that for a long time. I feel like I'm still dealing with pieces of that myself and really trying to define what it is that I do and who I help. Like every time I think I've got it down, then it's like something changes and then I'm like,
Yeah.
I do Reiki. Like leave it at that. But that's that was part of the other thing that I spent so much of my life so far looking for was what is my purpose? Because I was a writing major. I added on being a theater major because I thought maybe I'd want to go be an actress. And then I was too scared to go actually do something out in the world about it. I didn't know where to go or what to do. I didn't think I was good enough. And I remember reading a book about like getting into the acting world, and I didn't get past the first page because it was something about like 99% of you aren't going to make it. I'm like, fine then. Now if I read something like that, I'm like, okay, well, I'm part of the 1%, so let's go. Yeah. But me back then, not feeling very confident in myself, that shut me down pretty quickly. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I shouldn't do this. And then I thought my whole life that at the very least, I was going to be a fiction writer. And I thought I was never, ever going to have like a job because I was going to be a writer. I was going to be at home in my home office writing my books. And I didn't take much action on that either once I got out of school because I was just so happy to be done with school and taking tests and learning about subjects that I had no interest in. I'm like, oh, I'm done. Yeah. And I'm like, well, I didn't do a very good job of setting myself up for being out of school. What do I do now? So I had to start going to get jobs, and I didn't know what to do. And I couldn't get a writing job because I went to school for creative writing. So I didn't have like a professional portfolio to give anybody. So I didn't have much evidence outside of the fact that I had a writing major. I couldn't get any kind of writing job no matter what I was applying for. So I ended up working in retail, in restaurants. I had technically an office job, but it was still considered retail because I was a head cashier and accounts receivable in a car dealership. Like, this is clearly not my soul's purpose, you know? So then I'm trying all the side hustles. Like, I'm doing network marketing and a whole bunch of different kinds of network marketing. I'm thinking, well, maybe I step back in and I'll be a proofreader, like a freelance proofreader, and I'm reading books on that. And then I'm not sure where to go from that point, and I'm too afraid to reach out to companies and be like, hey, I have no portfolio, but I could be your proofreader, you know? And like, how, like, I just want to help people. I just want to help people. And I started just, you know what? Here's the answer. You got to trust your nudges. Whatever is popping into your head. That was a really long-winded way of getting to that. I'm sorry.
No, it really was good.
See,
I feel like there's so many people that are going or have been, because I feel like I went through exactly the same thing as you. So it all makes sense.
I'm a storyteller. I remember reading this book, Personality Plus, and some of it, like the way things are described, are a little bit outdated, but I feel like the personality descriptions still stand. And one of them is called the Popular Sanguine. And I am one half that and one half perfect melancholy, one half extrovert, one half introvert. And they show up in different situations. And the Popular Sanguine is a storyteller who will tell you every detail that you don't really need to know, but they will make sure that you know that the car that drove past them before they talked to this person was orange. And that's somehow important because it led to... Anyway.
Oh, I love that, Kerri.
You got to trust the nudges, because that was what started to propel me a little bit faster to where I've kind of gotten to today. And it's kind of that thing where if you don't take that first step, if you don't trust that first nudge, you won't find out that you're actually supposed to go over here, because you need to go here before you can get here. So you can't like leapfrog ahead. You know, I thought at first, like, okay, I'll start off with like confidence coaching. Like, I'll be just a confidence life coach. And I followed that nudge because there was like, do you know Udemy, where you can buy like different cheap courses? There's so many
yes,
different
I do.
topics
Yes.
in there.
Yes.
Yeah. And all of a sudden in my Facebook feed, there was a sale where you could get like these coaching courses for like $12 or something like that. I'm like, okay, that's a good starting point, because I don't have, $8,000 right now to invest in someone else's big programs. I'm like, okay, we'll start there. And I had some sort of imposter syndrome around there, like feeling like I had to have the answers for people. And I didn't really know where to go or what to do or specifically how to help people. Like I didn't really get the right kind of training, I think, from those courses to help me, like, not to knock them, because I still have a lot of them and I've used things from them, but it wasn't enough for me to feel confident going out there being a confidence coach, and I was still discrediting a lot of my own experience in whether or not I can use that to coach somebody else. Like I have to have tools and tricks and tips and stuff, right? And methods and all this. And nonetheless, I followed that nudge, which led me to starting my podcast, which was initially, it still is about confidence, but it was initially just confidence. And that led me to opening my Facebook group, which actually, like, I got my first 100 people in like a week, which had never happened to me before with any other Facebook. It was like pulling teeth to like beg people to join my other Facebook groups that I had opened up over the years. And this one, people were like jumping in, and people were actually showing up for the live videos that I was doing at first. I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. Then because I followed those nudges, I had kind of, I'm getting chills, like a foundation laid down for when Reiki came into my life, when that showed up. Because I feel like it would have been a little bit different for me. And maybe my confidence would have been a little bit lower entering into that if I didn't already have that base set up. So if I didn't follow that nudge, I wouldn't have ended up where I believe I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
There's such focus on like, you have to find your purpose. You have this one purpose in life and you got to figure it out, and you can't get it wrong because you're going to lose time. And that makes us all stop and freeze. We're like, okay, well, I can't get it wrong. So I guess I really better do my research and make sure, like absolutely sure that this is the right step to take. When it's like, well, just put your freaking toe in the water, like just take a little tiny baby step, and then you'll learn some skills, and maybe you'll find some positives. Maybe you'll also learn things that you probably shouldn't do or don't want to do that will lead you to the next step. We've gotten so disconnected from our intuition and our ability to trust ourselves. We look so much outside of us for answers in everything in life. And in that sense, this is the way that we need to make things about ourselves. We don't need to make what other people say and do about us, but we have to make our life and what we want about us, because it's so cheesy, it's become so cliche, but really we have to believe and trust that we have all the answers within us. Like the life answers. I'm not saying you can go do brain surgery. But the nudges and those kinds of answers, they're already there. We know. We've just learned to shut it down and not trust ourselves because society, someone else told us, well, that's not the way it's supposed to be. You're supposed to go get a job and be a contributing member of society in that way. Like I would rather contribute by being myself and using my skills. And I know in my soul that is possible for everyone to be able to do.
Yes.
And still be able to make a living.
Yes. And help humanity.
Yes.
Kerri, that was awesome. Like when you're talking about the nudges, I just want to point out to the listeners, everyone has different types of nudges. So for me, my nudge is, it's like I just know. So something comes into my mind, it's like podcast. It's like it keeps flashing every now and then. I know other people get tingles, or they see things, signs all over the place. So I just want to make it clear to the audience, your nudge may be different to Kerri's, it may be different to my nudge, but it's still a nudge in the direction that you should be heading.
I mentioned that a lot. Like whatever feels like a yes for you, like that's your yes. Like my yes is my crown buzzing. But your yes might be, like you said, it might be tingles through your body. It might be, it could be a whole host of different things. And only you know what that is, and you got to start listening.
Absolutely. And that's a good, a little activity.
Why did you put it in the vent?
Because I was trying to get away from it.
Didn't I tell you last night not to do that?
Okay.
We have to rescue the blanket from the vent. I'll be right back.
Okay. So I just wanted to explain to the audience, there's a little activity that you can do to sort of help understand your intuition and yes and no. So if you really close your eyes if you need to, but really get grounded and think, yes, show me what left is. Sorry, not left. Show me what yes is. And then your intuition and your guidance and your team should be able to show you what yes is. Then say, show me what no is. And you should feel that. And then ask things like, is my name Kirsty? And feel that yes. Say something, is the sky purple? You should be able to feel the no. And then it's simple things like that and just practicing things like that to understand what your yes and no is. So it might be, you might get tingles down one side, you might just get a yes or a no, or it might be something completely different. But you need to be conscious of it and keep practicing it. Have you heard that little activity before, Kerri?
Not that exact way, but I feel like that's like, yes.
It's probably
yes, because I'm thinking
different
like
things.
all between like pendulums and muscle testing and like all of that. So yes.
Beautiful. Because my yes and no, my yes is I just know, but it's also to the left of me, and no is to the right of me. So if I ask a question, it's like yes, no. So yeah.
Sorry, I speak in movie quotes and now.
Go on.
Okay. Do you ever watch The Fresh Prince?
Yes.
Jeffrey, the butler.
Yeah.
It's been so long since I've seen it, so I don't remember what else is going on in the episode, but I remember him like standing there reciting something, was going, cannon to the left of me, cannon to the right of me.
Oh my God, I can picture that.
It's nothing about what you just, these things say in my head. I can't remember what I'm supposed to buy at the grocery store, but I'll remember this random moment from The Fresh Prince back in 96.
It's obviously some sort of importance. You just don't know about it. Oh, Kerri, this has been awesome. So if anyone would like to work with you, what offerings do you have? How can they work with you? What do you do with them?
Yeah, so of course, Reiki sessions being the main offer, those are done over Zoom. So you can essentially be anywhere in the world, cozy in your own house. And that's actually how I learned Reiki. A lot of people are like, oh, it doesn't have to be in person. I'm like, well, I learned in 2020, so we had no choice but to learn online. And it works so well. It's the same thing. So that's always an option. I don't talk about it very often, but I do sometimes also open the Akashic records for people. So we're like getting into your soul's library and all of that, which can be helpful. And I do have a membership where it's called Glow the Confidence Club. And I do monthly group Reiki sessions and live meditations in there. And eventually I'll be posting the sound healings in there. I keep teasing. But that's like, it's just a monthly support to help you feel supported on your confidence journey, something that I didn't have because, as we talked about, I kind of did it all myself. So to have kind of a physical support team around you as well, so you don't feel so alone. You can come and check in and get what you need and ask questions and that sort of thing. So
awesome. And also getting that, what's the word that, what am I looking for? Like the things that we need, the confidence boosters, the people saying you're doing a great job, you're having that support around you. Cool, that sounds amazing. So we'll put all the details in the show notes for everyone to get in contact with you. And I understand you have a free offer for the audience. You want to tell us about that?
Yeah, so I have a collection of 5 different meditations that were originally put out on my podcast, but I trimmed down the podcast chatter because obviously I'm talking and all of that before and after. So the meditations themselves, it's just the meditations from start to finish. And the most popular one, of course, is a confidence meditation that guides you through your solar plexus and actually doing some energetic work yourself to help boost your confidence. And there's also a releasing control meditation, a grounding meditation, a sleep one, and a morning meditation included in all of that.
Wow. Thank you so much for that. Everyone, I will have it in the show notes. Jump on board, grab those meditations, feel the confidence boost, get what you need. It's going to be amazing. And I can't believe you're offering that. That's so nice of you. Thank you so much, Kerri.
Of course.
And thank you so much for being here. You've been an absolute treasure. I've had the best time with this episode. We've delved into a lot. I'm sure, hopefully, you'll come back and we can delve into more stuff because
I would love to.
Oh, beautiful. Actually, I've still got my 4 questions for you. I've nearly forgot about.
Oh yeah.
So the first question: if authenticity was a color, what color would it be and why for you?
Oh.
Ooh.
Well, pink is the first one that popped into my head, but that's probably because it's my favorite color.
Can I just, Kerri, do you know what? I've got a little pins sitting over here, and I went to pick up the blue one today, and I was like, no, it's going to be the pink one. And I was like, I bet you this is Kerri's color. Intuition, people. Yep. Intuition.
I enjoy doing these intuition exercises that I see as I'm scrolling through reels too. Sometimes we're like, what color is this? Or which crystal am I going to reach for? And I usually get those right. So that's kind of fun to try. But I feel like the pink for me is probably also somewhat connected to pink always being my favorite color. And then I've actually never explored this, but it's coming up for a reason right now, I'm sure. Yeah. There was a time when I tried to vehemently deny pink as my favorite color. And I told myself my favorite color was purple. And I made everything purple, and I bought purple. I wasn't like always in purple, but I would buy the purple shirt if that was an option. I chose, when my parents redid the carpet and the drapes in our house for my room, I chose the light purple for those colors. And like purple this and purple that. And eventually I was like, but I really like pink. Kind of bagged more when I was starting to get my confidence back. So
yeah. Do you think
that's why it's pink for me?
Expectations again? Like pink. Yeah.
Right. Like, oh, you're a baby because you like pink. Yeah. Like, no, I like pink.
I like pink because I like pink. That's it.
Exactly.
If you could be an animal to express your true self, which animal would you choose and how does it represent you?
No. I feel like I like puppies, I like dogs, but that's also a weird answer for me because I'm very allergic to them. Oh. But I had a dog growing up, and she was like, I feel like she was grandfathered into my environment because she would only affect me if like she rubbed her fur on me too much, or we had a lot of people over for the holidays and the house was all closed up and stuff. But just on a daily basis, she didn't bug me. But anybody else's dog in anyone else's house, or someone else's dog coming into our house, I couldn't handle it. So there's probably something to explore there too. But I am partial to dogs. I do like dogs. despite being allergic to them. They're just so loving, you know,
They
like
are.
I heard someone describe it once, like, you know, all they want to do is be your pal, you know?
All they want to do is love you. It's like you don't see cats coming up to you when you get home, like, yeah, you're home. Yeah, you're home. They're like, oh, you're home.
Like, oh, great, you're here.
Exactly. That's what dogs, dogs. If you had a magic wand and everyone in the world had to follow one ruling you create, what would it be?
Oh my goodness. Do everything from the source of genuine, actual love. Everything you say and do.
Oh my
and
God.
I feel there's like people can misinterpret that because there's so many people like, well, I'm all about love and la da da. It's like there's a difference between cheesy love and the actual like God source energy of love. And I don't care what you call the higher power or what you believe in.
Yeah.
It all leads to the same thing, and it's the energy of love. And if you can actually, it's none of us are perfect by any means. We're human for a reason. But that really slowed me down when he got me to say that. Like, yeah, if just everything from that source, to do your best to do from that source all the time, as often as possible, things would be so much better.
So imagine the world. I can't. I mean, I can, but it would just be a magical place to live and be part of. In fact, I'm getting called to. I want everyone to feel this pure love. So I want everyone to close their eyes. And I want you to take a deep breath in and out. And I want Archangel Michael to come in and connect with everyone that's listening. And I want you to show everyone that you give them a sensation that they know that you're there. And I want you to show them the feeling of pure love. Go ahead and show them that now. So I'm getting tingles all through my body and just, I feel like smiling constantly. Can you amplify that even further, Archangel Michael? And hold that. And just one more, amplify it even more, say 60,000. Take a deep breath in. And out. And you can open your eyes. How did that feel? Ooh.
I saw him, he directed his sword towards my heart, and it was this electric pink energy, which also reminded me that I read somewhere recently that, so we know the heart chakra is usually green, but I read something that said like when your heart chakra is like actually purely completely clear, it's more of a pink energy.
Yeah. Oh, that just gave me shivers. I'm glad he came. Thank you, Archangel Michael. Sorry, I forgot to say that. That is the feeling. Imagine if everyone in the world had that feeling, how the world would be run and working, and how you would. Sorry. Anyway, there you go, everyone. A little bit of something special for you. And my last question is, what words do you have for the listeners? Do you have any last words? Anything download, anything that you think is important to finish off with? What have you got for us, Kerri?
It's just going back to trust the nudges and learn not to take things personally. Like if you've never read the 4 agreements, that's a good place to start, because that's one of the 4 agreements, is to not take anything personally. And that's such a huge thing. And I think connected to acting from love, those 2 things together will work in conjunction with each other, because when you're not taking anything personally, when you're working on that and you're tuning into that pure love energy, that's going to supersede taking anything personally anyway. So
beautiful. Great last words. Thank you so much. And I'm glad the nudges came back in as well. So I think that's really a lot about this episode, right? So thank you again, Kerri, for being so amazing. It has been such a special episode. You're incredible, beautiful, and just you're shining the light in this world, and we really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And everyone else, make sure that you have a look at the show notes, grab your freebies from Kerri, and tune in for next time. Thank you for being here. Mwah. See you soon. Thank you so much for joining us on today's episode of Authentically You Podcast. We hope you enjoyed the conversation and gained some valuable insights. If you'd like to stay connected with us, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on your favorite platform and follow us on social media. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Kirsty Impact Coach, or Become Authentically You on the Facebook group. We'd love to hear your thoughts, feedback, and ideas for future episodes. Feel free to drop us a message or leave a review. Your input means the world to us as we continue to grow and improve. Remember, living authentically is a journey, and we're so glad and grateful to have you with us on this path of self-discovery and personal growth. Until next time, always remember to be true to yourself, embrace your uniqueness, and live life unapologetically, because you are truly remarkable just the way you are. This is Kirsty, signing off on the Authentically You podcast. Take care and keep shining bright.